The heart brain when presenting. I'm going to give you what it is, why you want to get a balance of the heart brain when you're speaking, the misconceptions about what it is and what it's not, and how when you tap into this, I'm going to say tool, but when you tap into this consciousness, or how inevitably it fills your language with words and sentences that just have more weight to them, a higher frequency, that your language becomes your leverage, your vocabulary starts to fill over time with these words. Okay, so the heart brain is often misconceived as just speaking from the heart, and it's not, because when people talk about speaking from the heart, they generally are talking about not preparing and speaking off the cuff, and that's not speaking from the heart. That is making shit up and being lazy and unprofessional. So how I see it, and what works for me and what works for my clients when I'm teaching them, is prepare and prepare and prepare. Now, I've been in this game for 30 years, and I know that making it up off the cuff may feel like you're winning now and then, but you're not doing justice to the fact, to the person that hired you. You shouldn't be on their stage when you're winging it. They've paid you to prepare and to deliver something on point and exceed their expectations and make them look good. That's your job as a speaker if you're hired. Preparation is key. I see, and over my career I've seen so many people come and go, and it is only the ones that learn the habit of preparation, that life doesn't get in the way, and you do what it takes to prepare, and you turn up and you swing the bat and you hit the ball out of the park. So the heart brain, speaking from the heart brain, is not speaking off the cuff. It is not just speaking from the heart and what comes up for you in the time. Well, it's slightly not true. So let's get into this part. When we speak, we want to speak with a balance of the technical, being this is what I already know, the brain, this is what I've learned, this is what my mentors taught me, this is what I've been told, this is what I've read, learned, stored, and you're going to pass it on, repeat it, okay, regurgitate it if you like. It's not such a sexy word for the language that we use on stage, but it's regurgitation of what we already know. It's fantastic, because if we already know this works and it to be true, and it's a great foundation or guiding principle for those we're training or we're sharing our information with, fantastic, use it. The technical also is, who am I speaking to, what time do I start, how many points do I want to cover today. Technical is the craft as well. There's a lot of the technical, which is the craft. The more you do something, the more you learn about timing and energy and how to pull the energy back when the energy goes a bit skew-whiff in a room. So this is all technical. The heart-brain consciousness, whatever you want to call it, heart-brain consciousness, energetic field of information, God working through you. I use that when I'm being dramatic. Conduit for infinite wisdom. Not sure if I said that one, but it's a goodie. All of those things are describing a feeling. It's something in motion. And when that happens, you've got this beautiful balance as I know where I'm going. I know what I want to say. I know the point I'm trying to make. But is this going to give me something today that I don't or haven't said before, that's going to articulate this in a different way? And often it comes with a very new message. When you start exploring it, it gives you something more and exceeds what you expected yourself to say. Okay. It is the difference between the known and the unknown. Which means when you go on stage, you got two options. Now a TEDx or a TED Talk it's the known. You don't have time to make stuff up. or speak from a heart brain on stage in a TEDx, you prepare, you've written your talk, and you learn that until it is ingrained in you and you never want to hear that talk again. So you can choose certainty or you choose magic, and I choose magic each time. There's a helicopter going over the tropics. So certainty is, I know what I'm going to say, I know what I've planned, I know how these sentences work, and I'm going to stick with it. The unknown is, I've prepared, and then when I walk on stage I let it go. It's the same with acting. You, in a scene, you might look at all the options of the things that you could do, but at the end of the day you let it all go when that camera rolls, and they're there for you, which gives you a sense of confidence, courage. You've done your job, but then you got to let it go, because if you're acting opposite somebody, they might throw something at you, or something happens that you weren't expecting, and one of those half a dozen scenarios won't work. So you got to roll with it in the moment. It's the same in your keynote. When you choose magic, is you prepare, then let it go. Okay? How I prepare is like this. I have my points, I make up my slides, and I will just practice through those slides, no matter what state I'm in, different times of the day. Maybe I've had a few beers, maybe it's a Sunday night, maybe it's a Friday super early morning. I just will practice, and the different states that I'm in, the different shades of me, will influence how the words that I choose to articulate that point that day. That's pretty good, wasn't it? That chopper woke me up. Okay, now the authenticity, some people might say it would just be you, but what does just be you mean? It means owning the state that you're in, because that's who you are right now. That is just be you. When you learn to not change your state before you go on stage or camera, there's this effortless movement, if you will, from who you are off stage to who you are on stage, meaning that's you. Who you are off stage is who you are on stage. That's just be you. That is authenticity. That's often misunderstood as well. When you are authentic, that means you are going to allow how you're truly feeling today to influence how you're going to articulate your points and your topic. So how you are today, if I'm jet lagged, melancholic, a bit agitated, I'm feeling mischievous, all of those states are going to influence in a different way the words that you choose. And this is really important, because your heart brain consciousness doesn't have words, it has a feeling. This is what I believe after 30 years. Your heart brain doesn't think in words, it feels, and that feeling is going to influence the words that you choose. And how can it think in words? There's how many different languages are there on this planet? We're not all born with Spanish heart brains. We're not all born with Portuguese heart brains, or Russian or German. It is what it is. And I can't describe for you specifically. I don't know how it works. I just know it works, and when it works, it's magic. It is, for me, it's like God working through me, and I love it. And I know that's where the magic happens. And I know it's, for many, it's like a flame, or something's been ignited inside you. And my job as someone who teaches this is to guide them to that, when that flame is ignited, so they can do it over and over again themselves. Okay, so the feeling influences the what words we choose, and that will give you brand new sentences, brand new ideas, different things that you're saying, and it may only be one sentence per a talk, but that's enough. And what happens is that sentence, if you will, has a different frequency. It's got a different weight to it. It lands differently with the audience. They recognize it, they acknowledge it, they remember it every single time. Now, over time, and I'm just going to repeat what I said at the beginning, over time, those sentences start to fill up your vocabulary. So over time, over an extended period of being able to tap into that, you end up with a vocabulary full of that language. So your language then becomes your leverage. No one else is using that language. It's come from you. It's yours. It's different. It feels different. So your language starts to become your leverage, and this is when your keynotes start to sound different. I know when I walk out on stage and I'm teaching, no one is doing what I do, because the majority of my my talk or my training has come from somewhere beyond where I am truly able to understand. And I'm not foolish enough to try and label it as something. So that, for me, is the heart, brain, and action. That's why the heart, brain is so important when speaking. It elevates you beyond other speakers. It elevates you immediately because it connects. There's a different feel to it. Your language becomes your leverage. If you look at the great speakers, they have their own language. You think of the speaker that you love the most, they don't speak the language of other people. Joe Dispenza's, Anthony Roberts, Brené Brown's, God, they've all got their own language. And where do you think that has come over time? All right. If you agree, disagree, let me know. Let me know in the comments, or your experience of the heart, brain on stage. Just don't argue with me that you're better at winging it than what it would be like to prepare, because if you should try over preparing and seeing how good that talk really goes, especially if you're on someone else's stage.